Welcome. Let's check this Blade Blast of Dagger Detonation COC Assassin. Blade Blast of Dagger Detonation is a physical Nova spell centered on the player's character. It's quite a unique skill, as despite not having good damage on its own, it adds spell damage equal to 750% of the damage of equipped dagger. Note that it's not dagger's DPS, so attack speed hardly matters. We've decided to make it a cast on critical build, whilst also keeping the original physical damage. Physical spells with high crit chance can reap the benefits of Entropic Devastation gloves and an immensely powerful impale effect, normally restricted only to attacks. The high critical strike chance required for this build to work is sourced from power charges and a lot of Assassin's passives. Assassin specializes in critical strikes, so capping crit chance at 100% for the spell and attack that triggers it should be easy. Deadly Infusion encourages extending the maximum power charge limit while staying at maximum power charges at all times. To achieve this, we've opted for the usual Ralakesh's Impatience and Malachi's Loop. Badge of the Brotherhood and Inner Conviction from Militant Faith also fit this archetype well. The attack used to trigger Blade Blast will be Cyclone. It allows you to move around and has very high attack speed, so achieving the desired trigger rate is easily accomplished. Cyclone and Blade Blast make for a melee-like playstyle with a very short range, which is not ideal. Mistwalker grants an improved elusive buff, enhanced further with the Badge of the Brotherhood for a chance to avoid damage. Combine it with high evasion and capped spell suppression chance. Dodging hits will be your main defensive layer. You will take no reflected damage and no extra crit damage. Movement speed and damage are great, but the range is bad. You can improve it with explosions on kill or even more movement speed. Single target damage is high, it has unique damage scaling, it uses popular uniques, but the build is not even that expensive after a few days of a league start. We have used a unique belt, amulet, gloves, boots, shield, and body armor. These are all required except for a belt. You can replace it with a rare one. Remember, you can corrupt your unique items. Body armor can increase the gem level of Blade Blast, for example. Equip Malachi's Loop for increased damage per power charge and 2 additional maximum power charges with no downside as long as you pair it up with Ralakesh's Impatience. Lightning Coil is a good defensive pick, mainly on account of its physical damage shift. Remember that you have no armor or endurance charges at all to mitigate physical damage. To make it even better, implement Topaz Flask, Purity of Lightning, and Graven's Secret. Doppelganger Guise is another good defensive option, provides you with some life regeneration and reduces physical and chaos damage taken while sane by a lot. Generating frenzy and power charges is not a huge issue, but if one wants to fully benefit from Malachi's Loop, Ralakesh's Impatience boots are mandatory. With Entropic Devastation, your Blade Blast can now impale on critical strikes, which nearly doubles your DPS. Graven's Secret has a lot of lightning resistance, maximum power charge, and introduces absorption charges. These will recoup around 120% of elemental damage as energy shield, making it good with Lightning Coil. Badge of the Brotherhood provides you with additional frenzy charges, resulting in a lot more damage. The effect of Elusive from Mistwalker and cooldown recovery rate for Frostblink is increased by around 100%. Precursor Emblem can be expensive, especially if it provides 1 maximum power charge, although its other bonuses for Power of Frenzy charges could be beneficial. The Dominus's variant of Militant Faith shall grant you Inner Conviction for more spell damage per power charge. The secondary Devotion mod may reduce your mana cost of skills or increase the aura effect. The Parandus Pact, Seek passive skills in radius also grants 6% increased physical damage, put it near fervor. Your auras are Grace, Pride, Temporary Haste, or maybe Zealotry. The single most important mod on a Watcher's Eye is the one for 2 additional impales while using Pride. It's a COC build, so the most important will be capping your crit chance for Cyclone and Blade Blast at 100%. Accuracy is not needed if you have a dagger with an open prefix. You should have 1 source of Life Leech if you don't have Clever Thief allocated, and 1 source of ES Leech if you haven't picked up ES Leech on the skill tree. Seek items with additional maximum power charges and a dagger with high physical damage. With an Awakened KOC, your trigger rate cap is at 7.58 casts per second, meaning you have to hit with Cyclone at the same rate or exactly twice as fast. Adjust it by increasing your attack speed. You will need a bit of extra strength and intelligence on items. On a helmet, you're looking for maximum life, resistances, maybe attributes and suppression. For the Eldritch mods, get reservation efficiency and increased damage per power charge. Dagger. Aim for the Imperial Skein for a high base attack speed or Psi for high base damage. Its prefixes must increase its physical damage and add physical damage. The third prefix is hits can't be evaded, or it must be empty so you can craft it yourself. Attack speed is not as important, but it can help you with trigger rate. Rare belt should get you maximum life, resistances, and strength. Increased life, increased global physical damage, and increased cooldown recovery rate can be found on influence belts. On rings, prioritize maximum life, strength, and elemental or chaos resistance. Life leech is a common prefix that's useful if you don't have any other source of it. A ring with a maximum power charge would be very expensive. Jewels should increase your maximum life and critical strike multiplier. Reservation efficiency can be found here if needed. You will use up to 6 of these jewels. 2 physical damage large cluster jewels with listed notables should be used in this build. If your character level is high, you should be able to fit 1 medium cluster jewel with quick gateway and pressure points. Small cluster jewel, listed notables yield some additional reservation efficiency for specific auras that may be needed. Get 1 life flask with bleed removal, a diamond, jade, quicksilver, and silver or quartz flasks, depending on if you need more spell suppression or attack speed. Their suffixes should increase critical strike chance, movement speed, evasion rating, and attack speed, or reduce the effect of curses on you. Blade Blast of Dagger Detonation is a physical nova with added damage sourced from the dagger. Cyclone is a movement melee attack that triggers a blade blast with high frequency. Link them with cast on critical strike, brutality, increased critical damage, and power charge on critical. Use the awakened gems if you can. Choose Grace for added and increased evasion rating to avoid attack hits. Enemies nearby take increased physical damage while you have Pride on. The effect is twice as effective after 4 seconds. Zealotry is used mainly for the consecrated ground and 15% more spell damage. Crit chance is not needed, you should reach the cap without this bonus. If you struggle with mana reservation efficiency, which you probably will, don't use it at all, and replace it with Purity of Lightning or Tempest Shield. Link these 3 auras to Enlighten support to reserve less mana. Battle Mage's Cry causes all increases to spell damage to apply to attacks, making Cyclone stronger. It also increases the critical strike chance. Link it with Call to Arms, increased duration, and increased area of effect support gems. Dread Banner increases the impale effect and lowers the accuracy rating of nearby enemies, so that you will evade more attacks. Herald of Purity grants 12% more physical damage. These 2 may also be linked with Enlighten support if your reservation efficiency is poor. Assassin's Mark. Marked enemy is more likely to receive critical strike and takes more damage from critical strikes. Link it with Mark on hit to trigger it automatically against rare and unique enemies. Frostblink is a simple mobility skill that can be used while channeling Cyclone. It's used for quick dodges. Immortal Call is a guard spell that reduces physical and elemental damage taken. It can be switched with Steel Skin, which lasts longer. Link it with Cast when damage taken either way. Haste grants movement, cast, and attack speed. If it messes up your trigger rate, you will have to replace it with some different aura, like Zealotry or Vitality. Link it with Divine Blessing. You have Eldritch Battery, so you can afford it. Slay the 3 bandits for 2 extra passive skill points. Soul of the Brine King is the recommended choice. It makes you freeze immune, chill resistant, and less likely to get stunned too often. Soul of Aberath for less ignite duration and burning ground immunity is the best minor god. On the passive skill tree, you will grab maximum power charges, maximum life, critical strike nodes, evasion, reservation efficiency, and spell suppression chance. Your keystones are Eldritch Battery, Ghost Dance, Mage Bane, and Inner Conviction. Lethe Shade is good too. Your masteries are Life Mastery for 50 additional life and a Charge Mastery for 3% increased damage per endurance, frenzy, or power charge. That is all. The build is not difficult to assemble. If you have experience with COC builds, you will have no problems with this one. Like the video if you found it informative, and thank you for watching. See you in the next one.